Hey there travelers, today we are rigging up our car for Alaska.
As many of you know, we are going to Alaska in just a few short weeks. And while we were down in Florida, we thought we would show you just kind of what we're doing to prep our Toyota Yaris, 2008 Toyota Yaris, now newly named the Black Pearl. So as you can see, we've taken out our back seat, taken out the top here. There was another bar here. Though the whole back seat is completely removed. And what we're going to try to do is we're going to build like a kitchen cooking setup here. We can have some drawers, some shelves, something like that, so we can store all of our dry goods, all of our food, our stove, some water, all stuff like that. And we also want to get like a small like cooler type fridge so we can keep some of our perishables cool. We're also going to put a board in here that will lay across so we can have dry storage for our clothes, some bins up underneath, up near the front. It's going to be a little bit of a lengthy process, but we want to show you the whole thing, so if you want to do this for your Toyota Yaris, you can. Day 2 of the project, as you can see here, we've got the outline laid out. We did it in cardboard. We taped some pieces together so we have a full outline of the layout of the back of our car if you come over here. So again, we're going to have a piece of board running right on top of this. It's going to go all the way back to the back of the seats. So we're going to draw that up on here. We're going to rip it. I'm going to go by with a skill saw. If that can you hear is my dad. You remember him from our other videos. So yeah, that's the next step in this process, so stick around as we continue our build. As you can tell, I've just got Dad, he's doing more of the basic stuff because I've got all the expertise. Good work.
Thank you.
Keep up the good work.
Appreciate it.
So we came across a little bit of a road bump because the way our car is built, it has a donut, kind of just an easy spare. Because we're going to Alaska, we want to get a full-size spare. Unfortunately, the way the car is designed, it's at a slant, so the donut fits in there and you can put the top on, but with the full-size tire it would be like that. So we're going to make a modification to our original design. As you can see, what we're going to try to do is put a full-size tire right behind the driver's seat, and we'll build kind of the same way that the donut sits in there, something in the middle, and we can just ratchet it down from the sides. So we still have a full-size tire. We're not really losing anything. We'll probably leave the donut behind, and we're actually going to gain all this extra space. So really, it's just an exchange. What we would have had there is now going to be here. So hopefully that works out. We're going to just kind of modify the platform and kind of see where it goes. Okay, time to cut.
It will cut.
Okay, the next step, we're going to do some of these finer corners. We're switching to the jigsaw, obviously, because it can make those tighter turns. Time for the big reveal. We're going to put it in. Hopefully it fits this time. There it is, ladies and gentlemen. Yep, nice snug fit. And it's sitting on top of this until about here, and then this is all free standing. So we're gonna put some supports on the end here, probably 1, 2, or 1, 2, 3 probably, right? Somewhere right here we'll have a tire brace. Okay, so it's a new day on the build. You can see here we've got the platform. This is gonna be the door behind the passenger side. This will be the driver's side. So we're putting in the hinge here so that we can flip this up this way. We're going to try to keep some storage containers underneath these. Again, we measured it out, so we probably can get 2 or 3 containers, maybe even more, depending on the size of the containers up under here, just for different dry goods or medical kit or extra batteries or something like that. So all that can be used up because it's all good storage space. Okay, it's a new day working on the car platform. We've got all the legs installed, everything's been sanded down, all the edges fit. We're just going to paint on this just to kind of seal the wood in because it's starting to warp a little bit just from sitting around because it's been a few days. And then we'll make sure it still fits and let it dry. Okay, so now the platform is now fully painted, it's dried. Unfortunately, I made a bonehead move and I left it out overnight, so it did warp a bit. And once we get all the weight on there, it should balance it out. So now we're starting the kitchenette. The boards have all been ripped now, and as you can see, this gives you kind of a basic idea of what we're looking at here. So we've got a bottom shelf, 4 high and 2 back, so 8 of those. Coming together, looking pretty good. So the pieces are fully assembled now, and we have the track on, and as you can see, pulls out, it extends quite a bit. Now again, this top is going to go on here, so we'll have it for counter space, and then we're going to press a wash basin into it so it'll sit right in there, and the front of this will still be open countertop space, a little high. When it's in the car, it'll be a little bit lower, so we'll have plenty of countertop space, wash basin space. New day, new mission. Today we are creating the front plate on that front of the drawer that we have for the kitchenette. And what we did last night is we pieced together 2 pieces of cedar that were, again, only this long. Now we've doubled the length. Ran it through the planer to take out all of the imperfections on the 2 sides. Now we're going to cut it to length. We're going to sand it, get it all nice and fancy, and then probably either stain this piece to bring out the natural color or do something special with this just to give our kitchenette a little more character.
So we've moved locations. We're no longer out in the garage area. We're in the screen room. Caleb has cut and sanded this piece of wood for the front of our drawer. And now it's my turn to do a little staining. I've got my Bob Ross t-shirt on for some inspiration. Just make it a little bit darker, just kind of seal it up, and it's gonna look excellent.
Now we're trying to fit in the front piece. We are kind of playing around with the water container because we want to have a beveled lip so that we can pull the water container forward and it'll pour right directly into the wash basin. So we're kind of trying to figure out the best method to do that so we can maximize the space. We're going to use the same cedar that we're using for the front of the pull-out drawer. We're also going to use for the lip just directly above it to kind of keep everything from sliding around, because the top of the kitchenette will be completely open, so we can put in odd-sized containers and stuff like that. Cardinals, what are you gonna do, right? We are on the build again. As you can see, everything is fully painted. We've got a nice outside bluish gray surrounding everything, and the inside pull-out drawer is a nice, what Kelly calls, National Park forest green. It's a little tacky still from the paint, but that pulls out. So the wash basin again sits in here with some extra storage. It's put away. So the next part we're working on today is mounting a magnetic holder. So we'll put that on the side so we can hold knives and other magnetic things. And then on the back we've got the pegboard installed. We're working on putting a cleat on the bottom of this so that it doesn't shift around as we drive. And we're also installing a metal rack along the back, which we can put little containers and hooks and stuff to hold other stuff. So now we have cut the IKEA stock hanger down to size so it'll fit the back of our kitchenette. We have decided on a bright yellow to kind of go with that wash basin that we have. So it's going to shoot it with some spray paint really quick, and then we'll be able to mount it on the back of our kitchenette.
Okay.
Unfortunately, the yellow paint did not work. I think it's too old or something. It clogged. So after I made that first spray, it didn't come out anymore. So Kelly wants to add a little pop to the back of our kitchenette, so we're going to go with the red. So today we have finished the car build. So I wanted to show you guys the final product now that it's completely in the back of the car. So as you can see here, our 2008 Toyota Yaris. We just popped this open. We have the Coleman Cooler. Again, this is the iceless cooler that pops open. It doesn't open all the way because of the curve that's in the back of the trunk here, but it still opens enough that we can get everything that we need: milk, eggs, bacon, whatever, sodas. Then we have our 2-drawer system from the Container Store. This surprisingly is quite expensive because they're not custom, but they're in these weird shapes. So this 3-piece setup here surprisingly was $52. And then we have a little extra card on top that we can use for any oversized items. We drilled this in to secure it so it doesn't slide, but the whole unit itself is not cleated in. so it can be removed or slide forward. Now we have the kitchenette part that we were spending the most time working on. We have on the bottom here a storage system that will hold 8 of these plastic containers. These are 6-quart containers. So 6 times 8, we have 48 containers, or 48 quarts of storage down below here. Then we have the pull-out drawer that we were working on. We've installed that front panel that we stained. This is cedar. We have our tub that we got from IKEA. This was a, I don't know, $2, $3 tub. With the lid was an extra $1, I think. And down below we can store our grill top, cutting boards, any other weird shaped items that we need to. Fully recessed into the drawer so that when we do pull it out, we have our water tub here that we can just open, pour some water in there, and then we can do dishes or whatever we need to here. On the top we've got a touch light, and it rotates 180 degrees, so at night we have a space that we can cook things, do whatever we need to, prepare for dinner. So that pretty much sums up the back. As I was saying before, when we first started the build, down below here, I don't know, it's probably a good 12, 14 inches of space down below here. And then we have the donut in the middle, the donut spare tire. The donut will be coming out. We'll probably put a toolbox down there. Jumper cables, stuff like that will be down below here, so we don't have to get to it as frequently. When it's fully closed, it looks like that. So again, as you prepare for a trip to Alaska, you want as much storage as you can get, and you want to have a full-size spare tire. We have not sacrificed any of our space up front. The seats are all the way pushed back and then reclined a little bit, so still have all of our leg room, plenty of space up here. And we bought a full-size spare from the junkyard. We're going to get a new actual tire on it, but we wanted to buy the metal part and then test it out for fit. So we cut that platform, and before you'd have to kind of shove it up against the car and push this back seat to keep it in place. But now we have installed just a center pin running through, bolted into the side of the car, running through with just a piece of plywood to keep it firmly up against there. We can still lift up this, pull that back, so we can get underneath storage here, and then more under here as well. We've already got this storage container here, which we can store whatever we need, and then more space under here. The last thing I wanted to show you guys is this. We put that pegboard in the back of the kitchenette with a just like a center track running down there for these special containers that fit, also from IKEA, that just give us a little bit extra stuff to play with. I mean, really, we're not really sure what we're going to put in there. It might be food, it might be extra supplies, but we just like having it. When the seat is all the way back and reclined, there's still a lot of space back here. We're going to stack the tent and the sleeping bags, sleeping pads, all that stuff should be back here with enough space for our clothes and any other stuff that we need to get back here. So pretty happy with the overall build. Not sure how it'll be and how functional it'll be when we're actually out on the road, but for right now we're pretty happy with the way it turned out. So that's going to do it for today's video. Hope you enjoyed it. If you do find yourselves wanting to make this build and have any questions, feel free to shoot me a message. I was definitely inspired by another YouTuber, so we'll put the full description down below. You can see our designs are very similar. I kind of copied a lot of the things that he used, so let me know. We'll also put some links for like the cooler and some of the other stuff that we bought in this build. Thank you for watching. Please give us a big thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already, and we will see you guys next time.